Welcome to the Thrive Show. My name is Kim O'Neill, and today I have with me here Estee Levinson. Estee is a relationship educator, NLP practitioner, author, and a simultaneous English to Hebrew translator for Tony Robbins events. Through coaching, she provides individuals and couples tools and strategies for building happy and loving relationships. Welcome, Estee.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here today. So I want to get right into it and ask you, what happens to relationships during unexpected times of stress and uncertainty? Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, relationships to begin with can be complicated because just think about it. You take two people, everybody comes from different backgrounds, different upbringing. Everybody comes, each person comes with their own baggage.
Yep.
And you put these two people together and you try to make things work. Okay, now each of us also have our own things that we have to work on. Okay, so I always tell people, if you want to make your relationship great, first of all, look within. Find out what things you can work on yourself. What is in your responsibility? What can you do yourself to upgrade yourself, to improve yourself? On what different areas in your own character can you become better? And if each one in the relationship, the man and the woman, or, it doesn't matter if it's the same sex, to me, it doesn't matter, obviously. If each of us do everything we can in order to improve ourselves as human beings, then everything can be much, the relationship can flourish. Plus, we always have to remember that relationship is work. We can't just expect things, we can't expect to have a great relationship without putting effort, without constantly watering it and feeding it, just like we do with a plant. It's the same thing. It's something that needs to be done on a daily basis, really.
Well, and I can see times of stress and uncertainty really being times when doing that inner work can be most impactful and helpful.
Yeah. And we have to remember that when people make mistakes, we all make mistakes. So
Right.
Instead of blaming the other person, just, think about it that you're not perfect. And it's okay if your partner made a mistake, just let it go and be more forgiving, because you're also a human being and you also tend to make mistakes. So it's okay. And not to become you have to stand your point and you have to show that you're right. We're not here to be right. We're here to be smart.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Well, talk to us about purity of thought and free will. And these are two phrases that I know have meaning in the work you do.
Okay, so firstly, purity of thought. Just like we keep physical hygiene, we take care of our bodies, we brush our teeth, we take showers, hopefully, everybody.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I believe that we need to also tend to our mind. Everything begins with a thought. And if we don't notice what we're thinking about, thoughts become things, really. They manifest in our reality. Thoughts also become feelings. And if we all obviously everybody wants to feel good. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, today I want to feel lousy, right?
Right.
We all want to feel good. So if I want to feel good and this is my intention, then I'm going to notice what is going on in my mind. And we have to remember that thoughts are just thoughts. They're not commands. They're not commandments. If I have a thought in my mind, I don't have to keep thinking it. If I know that it doesn't do me any good, it doesn't give me any kind of benefit, I can stop thinking that thought. I can shift my mind and think a better thought, a positive thought, okay? Because that directly affects how we feel. So we have to remember that. As far as free will, everyone has free will, right? That's one of the things that we got from God. We have to remember that free will is really dependent on what's happening to us. There's inner environment and there's outer environment. Now, the outer environment is the friends that we have, the media that we're exposed to, any kind of media, books or TV, any of those, and also the teachers. And all these components affect us and influence us. So we have to, and that's what determines our free will, because we are all, we get all this information, we're bombarded by information, but at the end of the day, we choose how to think, how to talk, and how to act. These are the three things actually that we have control over. We don't have control over anybody else, how they think or what they do, but we do have control over ourselves. Yes, granted, we can't, not every thought that comes in my mind, I manufacture it maybe, but I can choose which thought I keep thinking about, like I said before. Right. So that's pretty much it.
Now, the phrase love thy neighbor is something that I know also has meaning for you. And how do you interpret the phrase love thy neighbor, and how does embracing that phrase benefit couples?
Okay. So love thy neighbor, I don't know what people usually think about it, but to me, love thy neighbor, it doesn't mean, people probably think, how can I love someone, anybody, just like I love myself? So to me, it's not about, if we can find one thing that we like about somebody and focus on that, we can love them because we love that specific thing about them. Okay, so in relationship also, we can't love the entire everything about the other person because we're different and not everything jives with us. But if we focus on the good, if we focus on something that we do have in common with them, then chances are we will get along. Chances are we will have a good relationship. Because if we focus on the opposite, which is all the negative things, all the things that we don't like, that's not gonna really help cultivate a healthy and happy relationship.
Well, you talked earlier about our thoughts really being important, our thoughts becoming things. And now let's talk about words, that words have power. Will you elaborate on that for us?
Sure. The phrase abracadabra?
Yeah.
Right? So it really means what I say, I create. The words I say create. It's very ancient. Magicians use it to create magic. But it's really not magic because words are very, very powerful. And the other thing to remember is that once we say something, it's too late. It's already out there. Words have energy. Words can really either build or destroy. So I say, before you, especially in an intimate relationship, before you speak, before you open your mouth and say something, stop. Think about what is your intention? What are you trying to accomplish by saying this and this and that? Are you trying to create closeness? Are you trying to get your partner away from you or closer to you? So I think that when you think with the end in mind, when you say to yourself, I really want to be close to my partner, I really want to have a great, amazing relationship with them, then I'll tend to my words. I won't say words that are going to be hurtful, because I want to have the best relationship that I can have, but it's really in my hands. If I put the blame or the responsibility on my partner, then it's not going to happen. It's really in both partners' hands, right? But we have to think about, we shouldn't focus on what they're supposed to do or what they're not doing, but rather what I can do. What can I do in order to make my partner closer to me? What is one thing that I can do today? Maybe I can send him a text message. Hey, honey, I miss you. I love you. What would you like for dinner tonight? You remember that restaurant we went to? Would you like to go there again? You really smelled great this morning. Something nice, something that's going to elevate, the energy between you. It's really, again, it's the simple things. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think we tend to complicate things mostly. And it's really, they say God is in small details. Yeah. I really believe that. And if we keep it simple, if we, instead of when we have let's say an argument with our partner and he really got us mad at a specific moment, instead of getting mad, just put some humor in it. Smile. When you smile, something chemical happens in your brain. Things shift. So just be a little more, just let go. We don't have to be so serious all the time. Not everything is like the end of the world. Don't put so much heaviness on everything. That's what I say.
Well, You have an exercise that people can do to help generate more intimacy within the relationships, but I know you have a story you want to share about that as well.
Yes, yes. Actually, I love the story. So it was many, many years ago, before, long time before, way before I became a life coach, a relationship educator. I went with my husband and myself went to a relationship workshop.
Okay.
And in this workshop, the facilitator asked us to stand, in front of each other and just look at each other gaze each other in the eyes without talking for 3 minutes. So we're standing there and we're looking at each other, deep in the eyes. And we couldn't stay with a straight face. We started laughing and laughing. We're like cracking up. And this laughter, at some point, something happened to me. I was looking deeply inside my husband's eyes, and suddenly I just bursted into tears. I cried like a little girl. And why? Because when I focused on his eyes, suddenly I saw him just as I met him when he was 21 years old and I was 16 years old. That's when I met my husband. So I was able to see him like I used to, like this is where I met him. And all these feelings, all these memories, I was like, my heart was overflowing with love towards him. It was amazing. So today when people come to me for relationship coaching, I suggest this exercise to them because I really think that it creates intimacy. It brings up memories. It does something magical. Something magical to me. I would never tell somebody to do something that I did not experience myself or I tell other people to do. I know it works. I know it creates, closeness and intimacy. Just this small exercise, just sit in front of each other, look each other in the eyes, gaze without saying a word, just directly in the eyes and see magic unfolding.
And so how long do people do that, gazing into each other's eyes?
3 minutes or more. I
Okay.
say minimum 3 minutes. And afterwards, I suggest that people write it down, write about the experience and then share it with each other. What did they experience in those moments? It's amazing. I think it's very simple. Again, simple exercise, but it does wonders. Can I give another small tip?
Yes, please. I'm loving that first one. We'll take another.
For people who've been together for a while and maybe things are pretty much like routine and nothing is moving, I say take out some old albums. Sit down with your kids if you have kids. Sit down with them. Show them how you guys first started. What happened? Show them all the experiences. Get them excited about your first days together. And again, all these feelings come up. Everything you start to remember. Why did I marry this person in the first place? And something happens. All this, if we have resentment, if we have anger, sometimes even hatred toward each other, it tends to melt away because we focus on something else. Again, it's all about where do we focus?
Right. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, Estee, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your wisdom and expertise. We really appreciate it.
So much.
Absolutely. And thank you to today's audience. I hope you took some notes down and are definitely going to try out some of those exercises with the people in your life. And feel free to come back to this video and let us know in the comments what your takeaways are. And we hope you found value in today's conversation. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.